Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Day. Now, 2 versus 2 on Semoisky Winter. Yes, indeed, a 2 versus 2 on this tiny little map. In one half of the map, we shall be watching Crowdpleaser and Alekshiro fighting for the Germans. Yeah, indeed, the Germans fighting for the Großdeutschland Panzergrenadier Division, going up here against Joke and Stenfefu, fighting for the Soviet Union and the 40th Tank Corps. Yes, indeed. Rah. And we're already seeing a pretty aggressive move here from towards the west from Stenfefu, whereas we are seeing Joke immediately sitting out here with the support weapon Campaneer. Less unusual stuff here from Alex and Crowdpleaser, although we are noting a dual pioneer start from Crowdpleaser, obviously intending to grab as much territory initially as possible, whereas we see Alekshiro a bit more conservatively getting out some grenadiers. Noting here in doctrines, we are seeing assault support, Festung support, and Festung armor. For Alex, we are seeing Festung support as well, spearhead and Festung armor as well. So very little variation there. Stenfefu, shock rifle, guard rifle, shock motor, so Stefan a bit of a shocker. And pretty much the box standard here for Joke. Back to Crowdpleaser though. Initial engagement up here by the Pioneers versus the combat units. Stenfefu making a pretty aggressive left-hand move for the western fuel point. At least to initially deny it before then proceeding to actually get it connected. And then a more larger push going on here in the center. Looks like Stenfefu will be lending a bit of weapon support here in terms of infantry for his teammate. Of course, will be lacking a bit in that initially, due to the fact that he rushed straight for the weapon support Campaneer, getting himself a Maxim gun first. Points being secured. Crowdpleaser was letting run into a bit of resistance, and of course, while he could technically get more territory, at the same time, the dual pioneer start does suffer a bit of a problem if it actually encounters any kind of enemy resistance in the form of conscript, which, since he was rushing straight for the fuel point, he did pretty quickly, and thus was thrown back, and thus he lost already there a bit of momentum. Alongside the southern river, we are seeing Alekshiro getting caught up in fighting here. Grenadiers versus conscripts holding up here in a nice farmhouse. Maxim joining up from another farmhouse, firing away. Another Grenadier squad could rush in support. MG40 here covering the vital cut-off point here. Pioneers moving in, but we are seeing that Stenfefu is also pushing hard in. Grenadiers, Pioneers moving up, and MG42 up here for Alex. And Grenadiers setting up position in the nearby house as well. Conscript's going to get caught here by the fence. What last man standing? He might want to consider getting out of there before he's not even standing at all. Pushing up pretty aggressively there with the Pioneers up here. Companies up retreating in the face of the Pioneers. Minor progress being made here in the center. Stenfefu's left flank has collapsed. So all he can do here is provide support now for Joke, and Joke really needs to get something in. His Maxim's getting caught in slightly awkward positions. Now getting a mortar. At the same time, Alex is getting his own mortar as well. 2 Grenadiers and an MG40 out here for Crowdpleaser. And already taking up as well. Certainly not passive play from either player, although the Soviets have initially put them at a slight disadvantage. The question is, can they overcome this? Can Joke get the most out of his support units? Or will the fact that he's lacking in infantry prove to be a considerable disadvantage for the team initially? Molotovs here being lopped. MG42 inside the house. Need to get out of there. Mortar firing away. Oh dear, setting up right in front of outside the building. That's not good. They have a tendency of doing that automatically though, which is a bit of a bastard. And there we go, Grenadier score and MG wiped out there by a single mortar round. That was definitely a blow. That should hurt quite a bit there for Alex. He's all of a sudden down to 1 squad of Grenadiers, 1 Pioneer squad, and the mortar team. Very, very unfortunate beginning here for Alex and the Germans, the Großdeutschland. We are seeing MG42s up here for Crowdpleaser's Grenadiers, sure to please the German crowd, less so the Soviet crowd. But then again, as the Germans, you're not here to please the Soviets. Nine. Satisfying Volk. Anyways, Max MG40 recruit. Very close to getting wiped out, but nonetheless managed to get machine gun out of there. Points are being secured. Maxim taking points there as well. Conscripts moving up. Right hand side seems falling into the hands of the soldier. In the meanwhile, we do see a bit of aggressive flank going on here from Joke on the west flank. And some additional efforts from Stenfefu. Very aggressive play with the Maxims, even moving them across the ice. So to trying to sort of attack from as many angles as possible, making it harder for the Germans to lay up a defensive front. Nice job. We see one squad of Grenadiers have barricaded themselves inside the church with a machine gun. And the combat engineers are rather find themselves met with a litany of bullets from inside.
We claimed it for the fatherland.
Already knowing here that Alex has teched on pretty quickly. In fact, it's time to have a look at him. With the light mechanized company, scout car on the way. Also, MG40 up for one of his Grenadier squads, but that is heavily wounded. Might want to consider getting a medic van grab, or at least getting someone with some veterans who want to apply some first aid. Rive grenade here, almost getting the MG, almost the Maxim. Mortar is spotted. Oh dear, caught on the fire of the Maxim. And Crowdpleaser slowly pushing forward in the northwest. Grenadiers advancing up, suffering. Scout car moving up. Scout car moving. Schnell, schnell. And there we go. Maxim crew is dead, very much dead. A quick salvo there. Oh dear, Grenadiers got wiped out. MU-42 also lost. Another brutal blow for Alex. He needs to be careful. He needs to really be careful now. He's suffering considerable steep losses. And he can't really keep this up for much longer, I would argue. Getting another Grenadier squad quickly moving up with a half track. He should certainly consider recruiting that Maxim, so at least he has something a bit heavier to utilize against his Soviet opponent. Support weapon company up for Stenfefu as well. No attempt at the special drive command here. Interesting, interesting.
Half track has arrived.
Field gun also up, so they are prepared for any fascist vehicles or armor already. Crowdpleaser also with a light mechanized company of his own, and a sniper now, the Scharfschütze. And Joke finally getting some bloody infantry of his own. Finally.
We have secured the sector.
And actually seems like the front line's quieting down a bit. Also noting no mines going up here from the Soviets. I can't help but feel I'm a bit disappointed by that. One Grenadier squad caught in the fire of the Maxim. And looks like Alex is setting up for a larger push here south. Maxim has been recruited. Pioneers going to be reinforced. Grenadiers also need to be reinforced. Pretty schnell. Field gun firing away on top of everything. And a flanking work here from the other Maxim. Good job, good job. Conscripts advancing. Oh dear, mortar round collapses the house with the MG-42 in it. The question is, what did it? I do not know, but something clearly did. Might have been a rifle grenade, which caught one of the supports and collapsed the entire bloody thing. Scout car takes a direct hit from the main field gun though. Sniper pushes up here. Slowly making his way through the village. Crowdpleaser pushes on from the west. Opel Blitz arriving, so he's clearly gone for assault support. Half track up north. Maxim stopping the Pioneer advance. Mortar continuing to fire away. Good, good. Combat engineers leading a counterattack are getting caught between two machine guns and the sniper's fire. And there we go. Engineers look to be pretty much dead. Most of the fighting though seems to be right here, with a smaller movement up here from Crowdpleaser in the north, using the Grenadiers to with a half track to basically take points, only popping them out when he actually needs to fight, otherwise he can otherwise keep them in the half track all the time.
Our opponents are seizing the sector.
Conscripts getting caught. Mortar clearly the target here. Nice move from Joke, but at the same time exposed himself to quite a bit of enemy fire.
Enemy is taking our territory.
Bit of a brutal battle here. Lots of Maxims, lots of mortars firing. Stenfefu also having secured himself a mortar of his own. Things are certainly getting rather hot here on the small island. Grenadier squad taking heavy losses, mortar taking heavy losses, field gun barraging its way in. Left flank barely seeing any action at the moment. And taking on, going out for Alex. And time to have a look at Stenfefu. Maxim and field gun standing abandoned. Looks like Alex is going to make a push. Needs to reinforce his grenadiers, but if he could take the field gun down the Maxim, that would definitely be a boon for him. 3 squads of conscripts, 4 Stefan, squad of commandeers, and a mortar. He's a bit lacking. We are seeing a tank of battalion command going up, but it might be a bit too late. And the pioneers doing what they can with the stolen Maxim. The advance of the Großdeutschen continues despite heavy losses, and the half-track gets blown up. Quite unfortunate that. Looks like Alex's assault has lost steam, and it's ultimately going to get pushed back. Another Oberblitz arrives. Also fuel caches up here for Crowdpleaser. Clearly he's got something in mind. Come on, Grenadiers, Rückzug, Rückzug! Rather nasty situation. Looks like the right hand side might fall. Soviets still are quite contained. I mean, it is largely up to Stenfefu trying to do most of the attacking. Although looks like Joke is now getting shock troopers. So clearly he's gone for the shock rifle doctrine, the only shock doctrine he had.
The new men have arrived.
So now they might actually have a slight chance of actually doing some serious damage. Now they actually got some infantry to do the pushing.
You need something built?
Because that's rather bit once limiting them. Again, the fact that Joke has been so reliant on support weapons, which again are great for supporting, less great for actually doing any sort of sensible attacking.
Contact with the enemy! Squad replenished! Awaiting orders! We have an isolated
Flampanzerwagen rolling about. Field gun needs to be careful, but if, on the other hand, if it can catch the flame for half-tank, that would definitely be rather nice. And there we go, it might happen now. Half-tank caught in the ice, needs to be careful about that. And in fact, getting caught by one of the heavy machine gun bunkers. And there we go, Flampanzerwagen kaput. What a shame. T-70 on the way for Stenfefu. Armor support corps up for Alex, who's pushing forwards again with a fresh half-track to keep the advance going. Well, at the same time, Alex is suffering rather grievously. Crowdpleaser doing what I suppose he thinks he can, but at the same time, slightly more passive. He's clearly more intent on holding that part of the resource, but also a map, part of the map, but also getting as many resources as possible. So I suppose in that extent, it can partly explain his defensive posture, but at the same time, he does also, you know, try to attack and release some of the pressure off his teammate, which is something. But 3 Opel Blitzes and a fuel cache, that's quite a bit of resource being spent towards that, and certainly he might also benefit from getting a bit more infantry or something else to help his teammate.
Brave infantry have made the ultimate sacrifice.
Squawk went down there. T-70 moving in. Alex's forces are a bit exposed to that. Got very little to stop it. Although we do see an Osten Flakpanzer arriving for Alex. But will it be in time? Will it be in time? Pushing up here in the center. Church and nearby farmhouse blown up. MG-42 lying in the ruins and the debris. And a shock trooper squad actually managed to clear out the Maxim, then conducts a full retreat. Apparently felt a bit threatened by all the grenadiers and the light machine guns. And looks like Stenfefu was actually able to steal a mortar away from his opponent. So now the Soviets have 3 mortars available to them. That's quite a bit of light artillery. Ostwind rolls in. And sends the T-70 light tank reeling. Time to put O to Joke, who's getting another shock trooper squad. He's also getting S-35s. He might want to consider in the longer term run getting up something for an IS-2 heavy tank. Certainly a fuel cache might not be a bad idea. And of course, remember, the IS-2 has now received a damage buff, so it does more damage amongst other things. And of course costs less fuel. Of course it also costs more manpower, but more importantly less fuel. So in some senses it should be easier to get, but also at some other points harder due to, again, the higher manpower cost. Ostwind blown up. Obviously did not stand a chance against the S-85, and looks like a Stug is now arriving for Alex. We also see that Crowdpleaser is being pushed back. Looks like a bit of incendiary artillery going in against his positions. Bunker up for Crowdpleaser, trying to protect against the northern advance. Oh, Maxim caught in the rain of the mortars. His position is definitely not looking good at all. Ooh, veterans one for the sniper. Interestingly, it looks like no one's actually been noticing the light machine gun, or perhaps been unable to pick it up due to the way it's lying in the ruins. I think that's more likely the case, actually. Bit of a shame, that. And a mortar half-track. Alekshiro, I believe, could then have gone for either spearhead or festering support. But remember the doctrines he chose correctly. And we actually see relief infantry up. Ostrom being sent in to support the Großdeutschland, it would seem. Or Hilfswillige being drawn out from the support columns.
Incoming rounds. Ready.
Or supply columns, more specifically. Only a single grenadier squad on its own. Might want to get a bit of support from that Stug or something. There we go, Stug advances. Also looks like, there we go, strafing run coming in from Crowdpleaser.
What do you want? Okay, that's the last one.
And quickly breaking up the advance there of Joke and Stenfefu. Though of course we've still got the mortar battery singing away, although clearly Alex here is hoping to catch the bastards. This Granatenwerferwagen. Sniper continues. Smaller standoff here with a Maxim, and also noting here that Crowdpleaser is actually mining, laying down S-mines. Wunderbar, wunderbar. Sprengminen. And an SU-76 actually arriving here for Joke. Interesting, interesting. I'd not expected that. Another pass from the Stuka. Great dive bomber, not so great at everything else due to the fact it had a rather clumsy profile. And there we go, one squad of Osttruppen. Also, quick note, we still got the Sunday challenge for tomorrow. Use officers. I've only received one replay so far, so come on, send some replays in of you using the officer to some good effect with his abilities and whatnot. To propagandacast@gmail.com. Replays, well, addresses and replays, of course, also in the description at the end of every replay. SU-76 are having there. Also looks like another chapter of Theatre War will be incoming soon. For those who have pre-ordered the collector's edition, of course you'll be getting it for free. Well, got it, I have it, whatever. Oh dear, half-track went down, kaput. And we in fact seeing that Stenfefu has gotten himself a 120 52mm howitzer. And thus we see, oh, the howitzer, mortar half-track went down as well. Alex is taking huge losses. Alex is also the one doing most of the fighting at the moment, which is a bit sad. Although it's not because, you know, Crowdpleaser is completely standing still, but at times one feels he could be providing a bit more support. Then again, it might be part of a more overall strategy where Alex does draw in most of the attention, while then Mr. Crowdpleaser builds up for something.
We taught those infantry a lesson. Tank destroyer here.
Hard to say, of course. Osttruppen making advance, but they are just foolishly charging themselves in and getting themselves killed. They just need to retreat. Come on, Alex. Rückzug. Conscripts here making a run, but encountering heavy resistance from Crowdpleaser's grenadiers and machine guns. And an incendiary round goes in response. Also looks like Joke might be misusing his shock troopers a bit since they don't seem to be doing an awful lot. Time to pop back to Crowdpleaser though, with his assault support, with quite a bit of fuel and manpower. Clearly he's saving up for the Tiger tank. He wants the Tiger. Oh, nice use there of the fire incendiary explosive round, or the B-Patronen, which stands for Beobachtung or observation round. Stunning the shock trooper squad, actually showing they can't fire, which pretty much meant they would have been very silly to move forwards. So nice little trick there. He actually managed to briefly neutralise the shock troopers and actually forcing them away. But good use here in response from Joe, firing away the SU-76 in barrage mode. Applying a bit of nice pressure there. And we're actually seeing here that Alex is himself getting a mortar of his own. Ostrom supporting the Grenadiers in their advance. Another Veterans of 3 Grenadier squad, this time though for Alex. And a bunker going up somewhere, could be a command bunker, since this is a medic bunker. Veterans 1 for the Osttruppen. And of course, mortars firing away with glee and abandon, and a half track out here from Stenfefu. T-34 rolling through the cemetery, crushing the tombstones. No respect for the ancestors. Quick grenades. Grenadier squad needs to get out of there before it suffers a horrible, horrible fate. But Soviets are getting dominance of most of the map, slowly but surely. Or at least the vital parts of the map. No, a second medic bunker. Huh, I would have figured a command bunker, but oh well. Sniper on some pretty aggressive patrolling. Also looks like he actually set up S-mines up there as well. Good move though, good mining overall, what we like to see. So rare to see, but when we see it, it's jolly good. There we go, nice armoured assault going in here from Stenfefu, but with nothing to support it, no infantry or anything. I feel that, on the other hand, is a bit of a mistake here being committed by Stenfefu. Fragmentation bombing available. Stug moving ahead. Panzer IV arriving as well here for the Großdeutschland. And the Großdeutschland being one of the few Panzer Gunner divisions, probably the only one that was actually better equipped than the Panzer division. And had always generally been considered an elite division, even when it was only an infantry division. Which it in fact started out as in the beginning of the war, but ultimately became a Panzer Grenadier Division. Artillery against here. Alex needs to spread out his infantry before the SU-76 gets them. And there we go. Tiger has arrived. Actually, it wouldn't have been a Schwerpanzerabteilung, since the Großdeutschland was also pretty much the only division which actually retained a company of Tiger tanks. Fun fact. Tanks rolling through the S-mines. Panzer IV needs to be a bit careful. Moving in, looks like to be a flanking assault with the tank. Tiger slowly but surely advancing through a rain of artillery. S-mines going off here against the infantry. Sniper caught in it. Panzer IV advances, Grenadiers advances. Pack crew dead. Tiger moves up. SU-85 moving up. SU-6 doing nothing. And there we go. T-34 caught by the Tiger and its 88mm gun. Also coming under fire from the nearby Stug. And there we go, Panzerfaust finishes off the job. No chances taken. Strafing run going in from the Soviets with their Sturmovik. T-76 to pull back their veterans. Good job there in unit preservation. Panzer IV and Tiger advancing. against the S-85. Outmaneuvered, of course, with focus sight. It moves slower. Don't get out on the ice! Don't get out on the ice! Tigers on ice is a bad idea. Schlechte Idee. Nein! Oh, phew, that was bloody close. KV-8 is also now on the field. S-76 get the Panzer IV. Stug moves up, but heavily damaged. And the S-76 actually needs to be careful it doesn't get whacked out by the Tiger. AA half-track to cover against, I imagine, strafing runs. KV-8 now going on a rampage amongst Crowdpleaser's infantry over to Alex, who's barely got anything left. He's got his howitzer, which is gleefully firing away. Also noting his access to sectors. He's got so much munitions. Use some relief infantry, man. Use it more. Use it more. Also, oh, there we go. Target weak point, I was about to say. But again, more relief infantry. I mean, you got so much munitions. Plus, you've got sector artillery now. Use it, man. And there we go. KV-8 kaput. Bit of a brutal armor engagement there. Germans came out on the safe side this time around. Tiger continues the advance. Shock troopers find themselves a bit by surprise in the middle of the advance and realise that's not where they want to get caught. But we do see an immediate response here from the Soviets. 2 field guns lining up. Tiger needs to be careful. Note, of course, the Tiger got a bit of an armor nerf for the last patch. So its frontal armor is a bit higher than that of the Panther, actually, but only about a bit. But we see here a nice maneuver here. Fragmentation bombing run going in. Does not get all the crews. A house catches up some of the fragmentation bombs. At the same time, Stenfefu making a southern punch. Looks like he might try and go after the howitzer, which is actually quite exposed. Alex did make a slight mistake in placing out that far from everything else. In a clearly open right flank. And there we go, T-34 sending in for the assault. Stug, though, here being kept alive by Alex. Good. Good. And there we go. Nice assault there, blowing up the howitzer. Although, of course, fun fact, howitzers always had some anti-tank rounds in case they got attacked by tanks. Of course, they rather prefer not having to function like that. And there we go, moving in against the next target. The Opel Blitz. And there we go, target weak point going in. Well done, well done. Might he be able to get the T-34, or will the T-34 escape? He probably should have closed in a bit more instead of sitting out that long. Oh well, that allowed the T-34 time to escape, so well done there. And of course the Opel Blitz burning actually blocks the line of sight, allowing the T-34 to escape more easily. Shock troopers suffering the penalty of fighting against the Reich. And a bit of progress in there. Not really having much luck with those shock troopers, joke. There we go, getting a few kills, although you might want to basically just move up the shock troopers. They are wielding submachine guns, which means they're pretty much best up close, not at distance. Ooh, conscript squad wiped out. And sector artillery, getting mortar crews, getting everything. Even the shock troopers, if they're not careful, there we go, just hammering away. Oh no, the inhumanity. German artillerymen showing their skill, yeah. And of course, German artillerymen generally were more skilled. The problem the Germans always lay in, either they were fighting against the Americans, who were much better at coordinating their artillery, or they were fighting against the Soviets, who just had more artillery and more ammunition. In that sense, while German artillery crews more individually probably were skilled, they really couldn't get the most out of it, which tended to render it a bit moot. Panzer IV, bit of a bow movement here, but not really considering everything, exposing its rear. AA half track down, quick strafing run. no sign of what could be an IS-2 from the Soviets. I think they should try for that. And another Stuk coming in from Alex. And actually using the T-70 to take points. Good job, Stenfefu. Good job. Gutes Arbeit. Time to pull over to Alex or Stenfefu and the Soviets, and a mid-game analysis. So, looking at the current situation, the Germans are rather dominating the map at the moment, at least in terms of holding more ground. The Soviets have suffered some losses. It's lastly on Joke, who ends up being a bit problematic in his playstyle again. He, initially went for support, didn't get enough ground, and then all of a sudden, when he got infantry, he ended up relying an awful lot of shock troops, which are quite expensive for that purpose. So in that sense, Joke's strategy, while in some senses having potential for doing quite a bit of damage, was also quite a bit short-sighted, if not support with something a bit more solid. And after the loss of the Su-55 and Su-76, he's been rather crippled. So he needs to do something to rather get himself quickly into the fight. And I would certainly hope he also intends to consider getting something like the IS-2. If you can get some heavy armor out, that could definitely prove a problem for a lot of the German armor and the infantry. Of course, it's a bit expensive, but I think it would be worth it. Stenfefu, on the other hand, is certainly the one with the larger force at the moment of the two. Also a howitzer, several tanks, some of them quite veteran, also a bunch of infantry and some other fun things. For Stenfefu, he definitely needs to sort of stabilize the front line, keep things up a bit more defensively until Joke can get things together and get back in the fight. Otherwise, they're going to lose. Stenfefu should be very careful about extending himself too much. And he might also want to consider somehow perhaps hunting down the last two Opel Blitzes. If we can somehow pull that off, that would definitely also be a boon for the Germans. They're doing alright. Alex has, though, been taking most of the beatings in this fight. And I partly think that's because the two Soviet players have been ganging up a bit, which again might have been part of a strategy involving Tigers, but also a bit of misfortune and perhaps some slightly off unit preservation here and there. Alex, though, needs to keep up the pressure, although he needs to be careful about rushing in tanks like this and get them whacked out, because likely this one will get blown up, which is not really good. He also needs to look into infantry. Again, he needs to use his doctrines a bit more. Again, more relief infantry, more everything. Otherwise, he's going to get wiped out, and that's going to mean Crowdpleaser will be on carrying most of the burden. Of course, Crowdpleaser could stand a bit more offensive, and he could also stand to get that off-field support officer, but again, that's not really happening at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. Otherwise, don't get the Tiger out on the ice unless you're actually sure of, being a safe area. Otherwise, you can risk one hit, and that thing's going down like the Titanic. Except the Titanic didn't have an 88mm gun, but, details. Let's return to the fight, though.
We are ready to go, comrades.
I do like the mining, though. And there we go. I can't really help but feel this is a really, really, really bad idea from Crowdpleaser in the history of bad ideas. Heinz, I don't swim! I can't swim when I'm stuck in a tank. And there we go. Lesson of today: don't drive a Tiger tank out in the ice ever unless you're extremely certain there's absolutely no chance of their enemy being around. Otherwise, you're pretty much just asking for it to be sunk. Stenfefu, though, launching an assault. Stuk, veteran G2, great, but he's not been repaired. Needs to be careful, he doesn't get outflanked. No support, no support. What are you doing? Alex, what are you doing? Pull back, getting flanked here. T-70 out of control, good. But pull back the Stuk, pull back. Other Stuk moving up. No, don't. What are you doing, man? And where's the other Stuk? Get it up. Su-35 moving in. MG crew down, or Grenadier squad down. And there go two T-34s down, but at the same time the Stuk gets caught from the Su-35 with barely any health left. Ach du lieber Alex, you should have pulled back there. Second Tiger arrives. Shock troopers need to retreat. Su-35 are getting engaged by the Tiger. Advancing brutally, beautifully. Stuk providing a bit of support as well. Anti-tank grenade actually connects with the rear part of the Tiger tank and damages the engine. And we're seeing another strafing run going in here from Stenfefu. Doesn't do so much to the tanks, although does a bit of damage here to the Sturmgeschütz. There we go, center cleared out. But the loss of that veteran to 2 Stu was a bit sad. At the same time, looks like we are seeing an assault going in the north. A rather minor one. And we're seeing a veterancy 3 sniper out from Crowdpleaser, 40 kills. Incendiary barrage in on the MG in the house. Threatening to... Yes, there we go. Cooked. Maximum crew advancing. Looks like the S minefield is gone. Looks like the Soviets might have some luck in pushing back the fascists. Shock troopers doing what they can. They might want to enlist grenades to their aid. And the maximum crew needs to be careful. There's a Tiger moving back. And of course the veterans in 3 sniper. More T-34. Conscripts moving across the ice. Full speed ahead. Grenadiers now coming under 5 grenadiers from T-34 moving into support. Other grenadiers also noting, of course, most of the German grenadiers have been equipped with light machine guns. That is good. Panzer grenadiers on the move. Be careful about advancing straight into light machine gun fire. Oh, there we go. Sector 20 popping in as well. Oh, and they hit the dirt at the same time. Yes, comrade, we are... Oh, shit! And goodbye. Yeah, hit the dirt and sector artillery turns out to be a really great combination for the Germans, less great for the Soviets. So, fun fact there. T-34 blasting away. Another Issue-5 up from Joke. Another T-34 from Stenfefu. He's clearly, not pushing them too aggressively. He's trying to build a force. That is good. Does he's good, or good in Russian, whatever. Another Panzer IV from Alex. Another howitzer up from Alex, more better placed, a bit more shielded. The other one, again, right flank much explored. This one is more within the sort of wings of the armed forces here. I mean, it's going to be actually have to move through some front lines to be knocked out. So that is good. Panzer Grenadiers might want to consider relocating to places with less T-34s and high explosive rounds being lobbed at them. Just a mild suggestion. Joke shock troopers continue. Nice grenade against the Grenadiers and oh, nice hit. Veterans are free, but there's a Tiger. Get out of there. Get out of there, buddies. Fedorov, Vasily. You have no chance against the might of Krupp Steel. Unless Commandant Stalin says so, in which case you have. I won't say against him. Anyways, Tiger continues being hunted down by the Issue-5. Issue-5, be careful. Artillery firing from Alex at the same time. Panzer IV flanking the Issue-5. Stu also moving up. Issue-5 in fact is in trouble. T-34's moving across. That's Issue-5 down. Turning into a pretty bad engagement for the Soviets. Also, no field guns. I mean, I think they might want to consider at least 1 or 2 now. And what is this? A fragmentation. No, strafing run. And cruelly dying on the ice, or beneath the ice. At least something involving ice. And what is this? There's a clear path to the enemy howitzer. Nothing to guard. Nothing to protect. Shield. At the same time, assault going up here. Defenses have been cleared up. T-34 has path open straight for the howitzer and the Open Blitzers. At the same time, Tiger's also moving in clearly for the Soviet howitzer. Time to pop over to Joke.
The enemy has 300 points remaining.
And there we go, howitzer down. Clearly intent on knocking out the command bunker. We 17 kills on the Tiger tank already. Gute Arbeit. T-34 again. Could try and move up here. I mean, there'd be 2 Blitzers and a howitzer up. Oh, another Tiger arriving.
Enemy tank is firing on us.
The second Tiger. And shock troopers might want to consider standing less bunched up, less likely to get wiped out by a single high explosive round. And sector artillery Good uses right there from Alex and Sector Artillery. Very bold, very bastardly. T-34 realising it's a bit outgunned here. Shock troopers need to retreat. Retreat, don't attack through something like that. Oh dear. Tiger though down to half health, but still standing in a territory with Sector Artillery on it. Not really in the Guinness Book of Clever Ideas. T-34 advancing again. Looks like he might try and be dodging the Tiger. Minor engagement up here. Combat engineers playing around with some grenadiers. Panzer von Stug. Stug might want to consider something a bit more stable than the ice to remain as a founding platform. Just a suggestion. There we go. T-34 rolling in, getting Panzerfausted. Tiger likely going to move in for the kill.
Engineers are standing by.
Do you need something?
And there we go, light to field hits, and looks like a T-34 hitting in from the other angle. Maxim standing around there for some reason. T-34 getting repaired, but the Tiger's moving in, and meanwhile the other T-34 moving in, heading the Opel Blitz. Looks like he's instead intending the Howards as a target. And there we go, swift response here from Alex. Panzer 4, Stug rolling in, realising the Howards is in trouble. The Tiger's going to be repaired, having taken quite a bit of damage as well. Opel Blitz pulling out. And there we go, the Howards is down, the Howards is down. Tiger moving in from the other spot. Intending artillery barrage. And running straight into the Tiger. Not the usual sort of thing you want to run into when you're trying to launch an escape. Looks like the T-34 has no chance of escaping. No, never mind. Oh, there we go. Apparently German optics proved superior in the end after all. But clearly no chance of an IS-2 here. I'm a bit disappointed in Joke that he did not even try for it. But again, the rapid strategy he's been employing has drained him a lot of manpower, of course, but also fuel. And it's only now they've actually built a fuel cache. I can't help but feel really disappointed in that. They should have had one much earlier, I think. And certainly, Joke really hasn't done as much with his doctrine as I'd hoped. He's certainly made some use of it. But to take no advantage of the IS-2, for shame. Field gun on ice. Nasty work that. Stug rolling forwards. And veterancy free shock troopers. Stug so far having little luck in actually killing any of them. Due to all the light cover craters, there's plenty of craters for them to actually dig into. Oh dear, Stug getting flanked by an Su-85, going to need to get out of there. Back to Crowdpleaser. Su-85 though might get a bit of a surprise here as the Tiger advances. And there we go, Su-85 has been flanked again. He seems to forget something about focus sight, which is certainly making it easier for the Tiger. No attempt at blitzkrieging here from Crowdpleaser though. I can't help but feel that's a huge disappointment, as it is a great ability. T-34 going to ram. Come on, blitz, blitz. No, T-34 missed to ram. Oh dear, oh dear. Stug down the other hand, the line of fire of the field gun, which is now veterancy 2. That's really not a good idea. A good place to be. It looks like the T-34 could be the next prey of the Tiger tank. There we go. There we go. West largely secure. More Stooks from Alex. By the looks of it. But eventually T2 Tiger, that's definitely going to be a nightmare for the Soviets to deal with now. Another H-85 from Joke. Come on, Joke. Please try something a bit more interesting. And also likely more to succeed with the current forces you have. There we go, Panzer IV already down to less than half health. Again, be careful, adventure shoot, but there we go, Blitzkrieg up. Blitzkrieg, but anti-tank grenade, a nice shot there from T-34. Panzer IV kaput. Broad up.
The Russians are coming! The enemy is attempting to steal our sector. Heavy Panzer taking enemy fire! Tiger needs orders!
Tiger's doing what they can. So it's a bit contained here, and there, and everywhere. T-34 needs to be careful, and there we go, nice flank shot from the Panzerkampfwagen 4, hiding behind the ruins of a small farmhouse. In fact, looks like except for a single house, most of the village here has been utterly leveled. Nice hit right there. Counter scored almost while H-85 doing what T-34 went down. Stug advancing. T-21. Panzer IV also flanking the H-85 right here. Field guns doing what they can. Tiger heavily damaged. And the H-85 is in dire straits. There we go. Good night. And another T-34 from Stenfefu. The only real hope now lies in the field guns. More blitzkrieging Panzer IV from Alex. Veteran free for the field gun. Ooh, that could be really good. Since that's definitely going to be quite a damage bonus. But the field guns are so close to each other, it's actually very difficult for one to cover the other. But nonetheless, managed to catch the Panzer IV. It should have tried to round a corner here instead of taking a straight beeline behind the tanks. So there we go. Fragmentation run gets one of the field guns for the veterans free while it's still standing. Blimey. 40th Tank Corps though is suffering rather severely on the face of the Großdeutschland.
We're dying! We are losing a sector.
This is now German territory. It's done.
Another T-34 advances.
Cut off. Our forces increase.
And another Opel Blitz rolls in for Crowdpleaser, popping out to Alex. We're still overall lacking on units. Alex is still having a bit of trouble then preserving units in some cases. Still losing a lot and not really seeing much relief infantry, which again I'm a bit sad to see. Tiger moves ahead though. Ready to kill some more Bolsheviks.
Sturmgeschütz is ready for use.
All Grenadiers running a bit too close there to the shock troops and the conscripts. But another bout of sector artillery straight on the infantry. Oh, shock troopers got wiped out. Definitely a powerful ability if well used. Can absolutely break up an enemy assault, if not worse. And the Grenadier squad just got wiped out there by a shock trooper grenade. I think that was even a veteran Grenadier squad. So again, I mean, there's also plenty of things the Soviets have that can easily wipe out German squads, and they cost considerably less. But two Tigers now up here at the front line. Shock troopers are definitely in for a world of hurt pain and fear as the tiger is here. And there we go, 2 tigers advancing, a terrifying sight. If you're the enemy, if you're the one controlling them, it's certainly much more happier. Although a brave T-34 crew rams the tank into the tiger tank, actually knocking it out and immobilizing it. That's quite a bit of luck, actually. Courageously done there by Stenfefu, doing what he can with the field gun point blank. Pioneers rushing in a desperate attempt to recruit, and looks like the field gun tiger tank actually got the field gun response, and we actually see incendiary artillery going down to protect, or at least no, that's a strafing run. Either way, it did it to actually ensure that the tiger couldn't be repaired, so Pioneers actually go down. Tiger advances. Can it do it? Can it do it? Another 85. T-34s are joining in. And there go T-34 flanking. Another strafing run there from the IL-2. And getting caught in the line of fire here, and he's actually ramming it! That was a bit bold, a bit curious though at the same time. And there we go. And Stug even managed to fire a few shots down the belly of the IL-2 as the machine gun gets upgraded. Another strafing run. Tiger moves in, getting very close to Veterancy 3. Tiger down. Oh no, Tiger down. Still, nice little comeback actually here, staying stage for the Soviets. Actually managed to take back the central and the left victory points. Actually managed to gain a nice bit of ground in the process. I mean, well played. I think it largely comes down to Stenfefu. So well done there. Quick grenade here against the Grenadiers. And looks like a barrage. Stug down. Oh no. And what was this? A fragmentation bomb run. Needs to get away from the icy ditch. No, that's a strafing run. Never mind, but still, the Tigers actually suffered quite a bit of damage nonetheless. Less than half health. So it's certainly done alright. It's certainly not that easy just to waltz in with a few Tigers. Just do it right, and looks like Joker is handling things alright there. But still getting more shock troops. Wesler's quickly getting lost. Bit of strafing left and right. Time to pop over back to Stenfefu. Within the T-34, only conscripts really retained at this stage. Barely any resources left. Not looking good. Even the mighty Stenfefu has run out of steam, it would seem. And the Germans are certainly now rather dominant in this fight. The point of no return has passed. The event horizon of gaming, or whatever you call it. Either way, the chance of a third victory certainly seem really slim, if not non-existent. Of course, I could always be proven wrong. But another Tiger rolls out. That's definitely a lot of Tigers in this fight.
This now belongs to the people and workers of the Soviet Union. Under attack by enemy armor.
Shock troopers leading the way. Another bit of sector actually drawing them in. Oh, well done, well done. Oh, and incendiary artillery, it would seem. Oh, this is just carnage. And apparently too much for my computer. Either way, it's really ended up in the slaughter for most of the shock troopers. Pure inferno. And a huge rout there for Joke's infantry. He seems Alex a bit too reluctant to realise that focus sight has its penalties now. In particular, there's no point in using it when it's so far back and there's already many other troops spotting for him. I mean, it really seems like he's not thinking much about it, which is a bit of a shame.
Your orders, comrade.
And would certainly leave some to make some sort of pun between his name and his abilities. But not me. I shall walk the high road and just make some slight insinuation of it. T-34 though running into some serious trouble as the Tiger moves ahead. Another caveat from Joke. I really can't help but feel he might not even be bothering right now, since there's no real way the caveat will have an impact on the fight. Field guns S-35 doing what they can, but they are suffering. Strafing runs and Tiger tanks proving too much for these plucky Soviet troops, including artillery firing away. And there we go. S-35 down. Tiger really close to veterancy free. I mean, that would be the first time I think I've seen a Tiger reach veterancy free. It happens.
Engineers ready for assignment.
KV-8 doing what it can, which is again admittedly not an awful lot. And there we go. Stu gets the killing blow. Just going to speed this up a wee bit. Quick to repair the Tiger, that is good.
Points remain. Double your efforts.
Victory points overall remaining reasonably close between the two sides, that's something. Bit of a blobbing assault here, that's not good, that's not good. Clearly a sign of desperation here from Joke though.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
Just going to speed up the last few minutes. And there we go, game over, a loss for the Soviet Union for the 40th Tank Corps in the face of the Ghost Deutschland. A bravely put up fight, but there were some problems, so which we never sadly really rectified or overcome. The problem was a bit, you know, the way that Joke played. And I wouldn't say like a joke, but there were clearly some problems again. He went, you know, for a heavy support start, leaving most of the actual fighting to do for Stenfefu, and certainly Stenfefu did what he could, which certainly was to a certain extent great, but you know, Joke never really followed up. He lacked something extra. And then he went for the shock troopers. He went for a lot of them, which again was quite expensive, which again limited the amount of impact he could do. And then he went for the mechanized armor company. He did alright, but again there were also clearly problems. He used focus sight without clearly actually understanding there's a penalty now, it would seem, and really hurt himself in that way. Ultimately, I'll also say he really did not do much with his doctrine, not the best. He should have tried for an IS-2. Had he done that, I'm pretty sure that would have a much greater chance of winning, but also he should have had more infantry out, some more regular infantry out, and they should have gone for a fuel cache earlier. Stenfefu, I mean, certainly did the best he could, also make the best out of his doctrine. I mean, he pretty much used every ability. Actually, didn't use any Guards infantry, which is actually quite interesting. I wonder if there's a reason to that. But he might also benefit a bit from some Guards infantry, but overall, I wouldn't blame again. I mean, otherwise, he made use of the howitzer and the strafing run. But again, there was one major lacking from the Soviets. There were no mines at all. I mean, just look, on the other hand, at Crowdpleaser, who actually used a lot of mines. He actually used them quite to good effect here on the west flank. Really made it difficult for the Soviets to just rush in, allowing him to sort of focus up with Alex. And so again, I'm wondering if there's actually a part of the plan there. You know, one went for the Tigers, the other one basically took the beating on them then. A rather risky strategy, and I think it only worked again due to the way Joker played. Otherwise, I mean, they would have lost the Germans at this. Again, this is not a sort of strategy you really should be trying, and Crowdpleaser might have pleased the crowd, but he did not please me because he did not use the officer, the bastard. Had he done that, I'm pretty sure he would have done much better as well. The Tigers certainly were good, but you know, don't drive them out on the ice. Don't, for heaven's sake. And Alex, again, you know, should have worked a bit more on his unit presentation. Again, some of it, you know, clearly went out of his hands, but again, some cases, you know, he probably would have lost less armor and perhaps in some cases less infantry had, you know, thought things out a bit better. And Alex might also benefit a bit from some mines and perhaps also doing a bit more with his doctrine. Again, he really failed, you know, to really properly use relief infantry. But on the other hand, also one was sort of winning AC for the Germans were actually they made use of caches early on, and the open blitz. Although I think Crowdpleaser might want to use less open blitz, also a bit more actual combat units. In fact, they might even be able to win faster with that. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. Hope you learned a thing or two or three. If you did, why not subscribe? Tell your friends. If you didn't, well, why not in a replay of your own? Provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.